The genius campus bell just broke up with you in public, but who would have thought it would actually trigger a system prompt? Option 1. Refuse, and be rewarded with supreme cultivation, but you must endure 3 more years of cold mockery and ridicule. Option 2. Accept, and be rewarded with the sword god system. Not only will it instantly heal your damaged origin, but it will also awaken the heaven-defying supreme sword body. You look at the options in front of you and let out a faint smile. Any idiot would know which one to choose. The moment you confirm, an unrivaled surge of energy rushes madly into your body. In the very next second, you go straight from being a total cripple with shattered meridians to jumping right into the 5-star vitality realm. You have to realize, out of all these martial arts candidates, the highest cultivation level is only at the 3-star vitality realm. This is an absolute dimensional crush. But before you can even finish celebrating, Lu Qingxian's surprised voice suddenly rings in your ears. She never in a million years expected that you would agree to the breakup so decisively. She originally thought you'd be begging on your knees and desperately trying to win her back. That way, she could have used the chance to manipulate you into transferring your house to her name, squeezing out every last drop of your worth. She truly didn't expect things to turn out like this. So, Lu Qingxian completely loses her mind. Wait, aren't you even going to try and make me stay? These past 2 years together, what do they even mean to you? Hearing this, you just look completely unbothered. Make you stay? My ass. What kind of brain-dead logic is this? Women will only slow down the speed I draw my sword. Seeing you turn around to leave, Lu Qingxian freezes in shock for a second. But the very next second, she spouts some absolutely mind-blowing nonsense. Chen, if you just beg me to stay and transfer your house into my name, I might actually consider not breaking up with you. 2 years is a long time. I can't bear to throw it all away, either. The moment these words leave Lu Qingxian's mouth, everyone around is completely dumbfounded. They originally thought she had a change of heart and decided to act like a decent human being. Who would have thought she was setting a trap like this, asking you to sign your house over to her? The sheer audacity. Are beggars not even trying to hide it anymore? You don't even give Lu Qingxian a single glance. Looking at her for even one more second would make you sick. Silence. Right at that moment, a voice booms out like a clap of thunder, drowning out all the chatter. Following the sound, you see a middle-aged man standing on a high platform. Your martial exam results have been posted. Next, we will be conducting your talent evaluations. Once completed, you may apply for the martial arts university of your choice. Seeing this, you finally stop in your tracks. You almost forgot about this part. Next, we will proceed by academy. Step forward when your name is called. First up, from First High School Chen. Hearing this, you freeze for a second, genuinely surprised. But you quickly recover and calmly walk up onto the stage. Watching you walk up, the crowd below looks on with complicated expressions. Everyone knows that you had incredible talent, but they also know your origin was damaged, and you lost all your cultivation. However, the moment that thought crosses their minds, a massive storm of sword aura suddenly erupts around you. Dark clouds instantly blanket the sky, with flashing lightning and roaring thunder. Feeling the sheer terror of this sword aura storm, every single student and teacher is blasted backward, their faces completely pale with horror. Even the Minister of Education and the other top brass instantly shoot up from their seats, their eyes wide with absolute shock. This is a heavenly phenomenon. Triggering a heavenly phenomenon just by testing someone's talent? That kind of thing only exists in legends. It actually appeared right before their eyes, yet you had absolutely no idea what was going on. You had slipped into a profound, mystical state. In just the span of a few breaths, a brilliant blade of light suddenly shot into the sky, tearing right through the black clouds. A massive phantom of an immortal actually appeared in the air, its sword splitting the very gates of heaven. This terrifyingly majestic scene left countless people in Luo City completely shaken to their core. Meanwhile, deep in the forest outside Luo City, a figure in white who was flying on a sword shockingly halted in mid-air. A sword immortal's phantom? Could it be that an unparalleled sword genius has just been born? The figure in white muttered. In the very next second, he vanished from the spot. And a brief moment later, the celestial anomaly in the sky suddenly transformed into a streak of spiritual light, shooting straight into your body. The sky instantly cleared up, bright and peaceful. You couldn't help but let out a long breath of relief. But as you turned around, you saw the eyes of countless people locked dead onto you, their expressions more exaggerated than the last. Wait, didn't they say Chen's core was ruined? What the hell is with this celestial anomaly? That's a legendary talent, a talent absolutely destined to reach the sovereign or saint realms. And Lu Qingxian was left completely speechless for a long time. You actually triggered a celestial anomaly. He knew exactly how terrifying this level of talent was. But so what if your talent is great? Your core foundation has already been shattered. It's unrecoverable. You can't cultivate anymore. These words immediately woke up the crowd, and people began to frown. Man, if that's really true, then it's such a massive pity. The Minister of Education standing right in front of you naturally thought of this too. Even with incredibly high talent, your future achievements would still be severely limited. Unless a saint personally intervened, or you consumed a Demon King tier spirit herb. Otherwise, full recovery was completely impossible. But just as this thought crossed the minister's mind, he was instantly slapped in the face by reality. Su Chen, I'm a recruiter from Qingzhou University. Would you be willing to join us? Qingzhou University is nothing but trash. I'm from Kyoto University. Enroll with us, and we'll ask an academy king to find a way to heal your core. All of a sudden, the recruiters from all the major academies threw their dignity out the window, swarming around you and shouting. Only the recruiters from the Imperial Academy remained completely quiet. After all, they still had countless geniuses to support, and couldn't afford to gamble massive amounts of resources on you. But for the other top-tier universities, you were still an incredibly precious asset. If they could actually heal your injuries, their universities might just have a shot at rising to imperial status. Seeing all these prestigious schools fighting like crazy over you, Lu Qingxian's face looked incredibly ugly. His martial exam scores were obviously so flawless. Yet he still couldn't compare to you. But faced with all these top-tier universities, you just smiled casually, and right then and there, you chose the bottom-ranked Luo City Vocational School. Because the system had just sent you a prompt. As long as you chose Luo City Vocational School, you would instantly receive a divine artifact. It was no exaggeration to say that even looking across all of China, there were only 2 divine artifacts in existence. Now, a simple choice could get you a heaven-defying divine weapon? Any idiot would know what to pick. However, completely oblivious to your thought process, everyone in the martial arts plaza was absolutely flabbergasted. So many elite universities were fighting over you, even throwing out all sorts of crazy offers. You actually chose a bottom-ranked vocational school? The Minister of Education and the principal of the first martial arts high school both froze for a second, before their expressions changed drastically. Su Chen, don't talk nonsense. With your talent, you can only reach your full potential by entering a top-tier university. Don't joke around with your future. That's right, Su Chen. Don't do anything rash. Think this through carefully. Hearing this, your eyes only grew more determined. I've already made up my mind. I'm choosing Luocheng Vocational School. Saying this, without waiting for anyone to object, you walked straight up to the principal of Luocheng Vocational School. Seeing this, Lu Qingxian finally felt a bit of relief in her heart, and couldn't help but sneer. Seems like you actually have some self-awareness. You know you're not worthy of entering a prestigious school, and only deserve to rot in the trash. Little girl, watch your mouth. Back in its peak, my Luocheng Vocational School completely crushed Imperial University, even half of China's martial arts universities combined. Couldn't compare to my Luocheng Vocational School. If it wasn't for the old man stopped there, his expression shifting slightly, and didn't continue. Su Chen, have you really thought this through? The conditions they offered you. My Luocheng Vocational School hearing this, you cut him off directly. Then, under everyone's astonished gazes, you signed your name on the application form. The old man instantly tilted his head back and laughed out loud. Ha ha ha, excellent. From now on, you are a student of Luocheng Vocational School. And right at this moment, the system sent a notification. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have obtained the ancient divine artifact, the Dragon Abyss Sword. Triggering quest. Enter the abyss beneath Luocheng Vocational School and slay 100 aliens. Reward. Sword Dao Physique, and a system upgrade. As the voice rang out, you smiled faintly. Seeing this scene, the recruiters from the other academies didn't say another word, simply turning around and leaving. The people from Imperial University sneered even more coldly, shaking their heads and ignoring you completely. What's the use of having good talent? His origin is damaged, he can't cultivate, so he's destined to be trash. Hey Su Chen, I thought you had higher standards. To think you actually chose Luocheng Vocational School. How utterly embarrassing. Oh, right, I get it now. You're not trying to use this method just to get my attention, are you? The only reason I agreed to be with you before was because of your family background. But who would have thought? You're actually a damn bastard. Your parents are both, smack. Before Lu Qingxian could even finish her sentence, she felt a massive force slam into her face. Her body went flying straight out, blood and teeth spilling from her mouth. Say one more word and I will kill you. You looked like a vicious beast on the verge of a rampage. Witnessing this scene, everyone around was completely dumbfounded. Who could have ever expected something like this to happen? But then again, this Lu Qingxian really was shameless enough. You dare hit me? You're asking for death. Lu Qingxian scrambled to her feet, boiling with fury. In the very next second, she launched an attack, aiming straight for your vitals. She was at the peak of the 2-star vital blood realm, on the verge of breaking through to 3 stars. Among the multitude of martial arts candidates, she was considered one of the top contenders. You're just an abandoned piece of trash. What right do you have, however? Feeling Lu Qingxian's proudest attack rushing toward you, you merely smiled. Then, bringing your fingers together, 6 blazing streaks of sword aura suddenly shot out. Tearing violently through the air, they aimed straight for Lu Qingxian. Seeing this, Lu Qingxian was completely scared out of his wits. This was no joke, you were actually trying to kill him. But just as the sword aura was about to pierce right between his eyebrows, a streak of spiritual light flashed by. It completely blocked your sword aura. To be so young, yet so incredibly ruthless, the one who intervened was Ling Mengqiu, an admissions instructor from Galaxy University, boasting a marquee realm cultivation. He valued Lu Qingxian highly. How could he just stand by and watch his prized recruit get slaughtered? Lu Qingxian is already a student of my Galaxy University. Striking at him is a direct declaration of war against Galaxy University. Hey, by your logic, aren't you also making a move against Chen? The old man stepped forward, firmly shielding you behind his back. Mengqian, stop twisting the truth. Hey, I'm just applying your own logic. How is that twisting the truth? Are you people from these so-called top-tier universities all this utterly disgusting? The old man wasn't intimidated in the slightest, continuing his furious rant. I'm laying it out for you right here, right now. If you dare to lay a single finger on Chen, I'll call the boys from Luocheng Technical School right now to beat you to a bloody pulp. Mengqian had the absolute look of a street thug, making Ling Mengqiu fume with absolute rage. Our Galaxy University is not afraid of your pathetic Luocheng Technical School. However, the moment Ling Mengqiu finished shouting, a light chuckle echoed through the air. You are all getting up there in years. Why is everyone's temper still so explosive? The very next second, under the bewildered gazes of the crowd, a figure in white materialized right in front of you. He looked elegant and completely at ease. The Sword King. Mengqian instantly recognized the man before him, gasping out loud in absolute shock. This was a genuine, bona fide martial king. And not just any martial king, but the Sword King himself, one of the 36 heavenly kings of China. It was universally agreed that his swordsmanship was second to none in the entire nation. So why on earth was he showing up here right now? Ling Mengqiu also recognized the Sword King. Recovering from his initial shock, he hurriedly bowed in deep respect. The Sword King completely ignored them. Instead, he reached out and firmly grasped your hand. To his surprise, he found that the damage to your origin was incredibly severe yet, faintly. There seemed to be a mysterious force sealing your injuries. Moreover, he could clearly sense that your cultivation base was sitting right at the 5-star vitality realm. This level of cultivation was definitely not low for someone your age. Your origin really is severely damaged. The Sword King looked at you, his brows furrowed tightly. But a Demon King level plant could completely cure your injuries. With the vast resources of the Imperial Academies or these top-tier universities, they could easily find a Demon King plant for you. The Sword King's underlying message couldn't have been more obvious. He simply couldn't fathom why you would ever choose to enroll in a place like Luocheng Technical School. I know, but I really don't need it. You didn't bother explaining any further. After all, you couldn't exactly tell him that you had a cheat system, right? Alright then. Hearing your response, the Sword King shook his head with a helpless sigh, his tone turning dead serious. If your origin injuries haven't healed within half a year, I will personally track down a Demon King plant to fully restore your origin. The Sword King's bold promise sent physical shockwaves through everyone present. To think the legendary Sword King valued you this highly, to the point of personally searching for a Demon King treasure just for you. In that moment, those so-called top-tier universities were suddenly filled with massive regret. If they had only known earlier that you had the Sword King's backing, they could have recruited an absolute, a peerless genius capable of triggering celestial phenomena. But it was too late for regrets now. You were already a student of Luo City Vocational College. And what the Sword King said next absolutely floored everyone present. I've been obsessed with the way of the sword ever since I was a kid. Would you be willing to become my sworn brother? Holy crap. When the Sword King finished his sentence, even you were completely dumbfounded. What the hell did that mean? Sworn brothers? The Minister of Education standing nearby, along with all the admissions teachers from the major academies, were utterly flabbergasted. That was the Sword King, the absolute strongest existence among all martial kings. Yet, under the shocked gazes of the crowd, the Sword King just let out a soft chuckle. Hey, I originally wanted to take you in as my disciple, but looking at it now, it seems I'm simply not qualified to be your teacher. Your talent in the sword surpasses even my own. You have a path that belongs entirely to you. If I tried to teach you, I'm afraid I'd only be holding you back. When the Sword King's slightly regretful voice echoed out, every single person in the martial arts plaza felt those words hit them like a ton of bricks. For them, never mind a heavenly king. Even having a regular martial king willing to take them as a disciple would be an unimaginable honor. Enough to earn them their own dedicated page in the family genealogy book. But when it came to you, a heavenly king personally admitted he wasn't worthy of being your master. Just how god tier was your talent? But in reality, the Sword King had his own motives. First, because your talent was absolutely terrifying. You were bound to grow into a supreme powerhouse in the future, maybe even break through to the Saint realm, stepping into a realm of legends. He wanted to make sure you could grow up safely without any hiccups. In other words, he wanted to be your protector. Second, the Sword King genuinely admired you. He wanted to nurture someone who could actually surpass him in the way of the sword. I'm just a kid in the Qi realm. I'm afraid I'd only disgrace the Sword King's mighty name, you said, still a bit stunned and hesitant. Ha ha ha. Hearing this, the Sword King burst into booming laughter. Your future achievements won't be any less than mine. Saying things like that is just selling yourself short. You gave a helpless smile before replying. Then I'm honored that the Sword King thinks so highly of me. Ha ha ha, fantastic. My real name is Lu Wuxiang. From now on, just call me Big Brother Lu. And consider this my welcoming gift to you. As he spoke, a storage ring appeared in the Sword King's hand. And he shoved it right into your hand. This was a completely priceless treasure. And inside that ring, there was bound to be a massive amount of cultivation resources. Thanks, Big Brother Lu. You thanked him with a cupped fist salute, honestly still a bit dazed by the whole thing. You'd somehow just gained a heavenly king as a sworn older brother. Wouldn't you be able to just strut around like you owned the place from now on? If you ran into someone like that Ling Mengchu from earlier, you could just walk up and slap her a few times. And she'd just have to take it. Thinking about this, you couldn't help but let out a cheeky chuckle. Then, you heard the Sword King speak up again. Little Chu, let's just drop this matter right here. You're not a child anymore. So why are you still throwing a fuss with the younger generation? Hearing this, Ling Mengchu could only nod her head repeatedly. Yes, I admit I crossed the line on this one. Seeing this, you laughed to yourself. This was the power of pure strength. If the Sword King hadn't shown up, who knows what kind of crazy drama that old hag would have stirred up. Meanwhile, Lu Qingxian stood behind Ling Mengchu, absolutely seething with rage on the inside. Glaring at you with pure venom. You obviously had this kind of talent and power. Why didn't you tell her? If you had just told her the truth, she wouldn't have stepped up to break up with you just now. Well, look at this mess. Turns out, she was the clown all along. And as for you, you've become an existence entirely out of her league. In her mind, she was screaming, it's all your fault. What about our 2 years together? You actually kept it a secret from her. When it comes down to it, she still blames you for everything. But just as Lu Qingxian was about to march over and vent her frustration, the hall master of the Luocheng Martial Arts Hall beat her to the punch. Brother Su Chen, I am Luo Tianhe, hall master of the Luocheng Martial Arts Hall. I was wondering, would you be willing to join our hall? Of course, we wouldn't require you to actually do any heavy lifting. You'd just hold an honorary title. In return, the hall will pay you a salary of 100 million a year. Along with all the privileges of an elder. As soon as those words dropped, the crowd around them gasped, utterly stunned into absolute silence. You have to understand, just to become an elder at the martial arts hall usually requires a cultivation level of at least 6 stars in the Marquis realm. And right now, you were merely at 5 stars in the Qi and Blood realm. There was a gap of several major realms between the two. Anyone with eyes could see how crazy that was. But the hall master didn't even give you a chance to refuse. He just shoved a bank card and a token straight into your hands. Then it's settled. Brother Su, if you ever have some free time, please drop by the hall for a chat. Your mouth twitched. Yep, it really was all about proving your own worth, huh? That rule never changed, no matter where you went. Watching this unfold, the other students were completely at a loss for words, their minds totally blown. All they could do was stare at you like idiots, absolutely green with envy. Why couldn't they even compare to a single hair on your head? But no one felt worse than Lu Qingxian. She thought seeing you become sworn brothers with a heavenly king was crazy enough, but then you became an elder of the martial arts hall in the blink of an eye. It was no exaggeration to say that your starting line right now was a finish line that most people could never reach, even after graduating and working their entire lives. Lu Qingxian's expression was a twisted mess of emotions. It wasn't exactly that she was sorry. She just realized she had jumped the gun on dumping you. Still, after 2 years together, and considering how obsessed you were with her, there was no way you were over her that quickly. Right? So, she immediately launched into another absolutely delusional speech. Su Chen, I admit, I might have raised my voice a little bit just now. I was just a little confused for a second. I made a mistake that any girl could make. I've always loved you. Let's just get back together, okay? Saying that, Lu Qingxian instantly put on her best pitiful, innocent act. If you don't believe me, I'll even let you hold my hand. Hearing that absolute garbage, you weren't the only one stunned. Every single student around you was completely dumbfounded. Just how thick-skinned could one person possibly be? To actually say something like that out loud? Even old man Meng, who had lived a long time, felt his brain short-circuiting. What the hell is wrong with this chick? You just stared at Lu Qingxian, feeling nothing but pure disgust. Honestly, the previous owner of your body must have been completely blind. Or just really, really desperate. To actually fall for trash like this? Did she really think you were still that massive simp from before? She was dead wrong. The very next second, right as Lu Qingxian looked at you in utter disbelief, you slammed a furious punch straight into her face. Her cheeks, which were already a bit swollen from before, instantly puffed up like a bruised pig. But you didn't stop there. Not even close. You charged in and unleashed an absolute beatdown, raining punches and kicks on her without a shred of mercy. Lu Qingxian couldn't even fight back. He was beaten to within an inch of his life, barely breathing. If Mingqian hadn't held you back, worried that beating him to death would bring you real trouble, you absolutely would have killed the guy. What a piece of trash. You spat on the ground, stringing me along for so damn long, and treating me like some pathetic simp like hell you're worthy. This time, Lang Mengchu didn't dare step in to stop you. After all, you now had the Sword Heavenly King backing you up. Even the principal of their Galaxy University had to show respect to the Sword Heavenly King. The crowd watching the scene unfold felt an immense wave of satisfaction. It was incredibly cathartic. You did exactly what they were all too scared to do. Eventually, the Minister of Education stepped forward and had Lu Qingxian dragged away. With that, the drama finally came to an end, and the testing resumed. You'd lost all interest in watching. None of this had anything to do with you anymore anyway. Your top priority right now was to hurry up and hunt down 100 demonic beasts to obtain the Sword God bloodline. That was the only way to heal your damaged origin. With your current cultivation at the 5-star Vitality realm, paired with the divine artifact, the Dragon Abyss Sword, as long as you didn't wander too deep into the monster-infested forest, or run into any Qi Sea realm beasts, you'd be perfectly fine. Seeing that you were actually leaving, Mingqian was completely dumbfounded. He hadn't even talked to you about the school enrollment yet. Enrollment for Luocheng Technical Academy is next week, he called out. There's going to be a practical exam. You'll need to evade capture by the senior students. Your final ranking in the exam will directly determine the cultivation resources you'll get at the academy later. Mingqian explained, handing you a gleaming badge from the Luocheng Technical Academy. Bring this badge to Mount Luo outside the city in exactly 1 week. You took the badge, gave him a firm nod, and immediately headed straight for the wilderness on the outskirts of the city. Ever since the dimensional planes collided 1,000 years ago, Earth's spiritual energy had fully awakened. Wild animals and even ordinary livestock had mutated, evolving into the terrifying demonic beasts that now roamed the planet. Lost in thought, you suddenly came to a dead halt. Right in front of you stood a massive, half-human-sized, 3-meter-long black scorpion. It was actually a highly venomous beast at the 3-star Vitality realm. Its venom was incredibly lethal. Even a mighty Qi Sea realm beast, if stung, would struggle to survive the potent toxins. The scorpion had clearly noticed you, its cold, dead eyes locking onto you intently as it slowly crept closer. Without a second of hesitation, you drew your sword and slashed. A violent storm of sword energy instantly materialized. The scorpion sensed the looming threat of death, desperately trying to dodge, but it was far too late. The flash of the blade swept past, leaving a deep, 3-foot trench carved straight into the earth. As for the scorpion, its massive body had already been split cleanly in two. It collapsed to the ground. That's one, you said with a smirk. It had gone quite smoothly. You stepped forward, just about to pack up the scorpion's carcass. But in the very next second, a sudden, bone-piercing chill washed over you. You spun around swiftly, only to see a dense, writhing mass of venomous scorpions crawling out of the shadows. They had already completely surrounded you. Your expression shifted slightly. You could sense that the most powerful scorpions in the swarm were already at the 6-star Vitality realm, while even the absolute weakest were at the 2-star Vitality realm. With a terrifying lineup like this, it was no exaggeration to say that even an 8-star, or even 9-star Vitality realm cultivator would have no choice but to retreat and avoid their deadly edge. But for you, escape was no longer an option. There was nothing but a sea of venomous scorpions in every direction. Perfect. I might as well test out just how terrifying a heaven tier technique really is. As the words fell, a terrifying sword aura shot straight into the sky. Carefree sword art, first stance. A blinding flash of sword light swept across. The surroundings instantly fell dead silent. That single strike, aside from the 6-star poison scorpion, slaughtered at least 40 other poison scorpions in the blast. And that was the power of just one single strike. You were a little stunned at first, and then, wild joy washed over you. It truly deserves to be a heaven tier technique. I've barely grasped the basics, and it's already this terrifying. If I trained this to absolute perfection, just how insanely strong would it be? Thinking of this, your eyes shifted back to the surviving scorpions. With a cold scoff, you swung your sword and charged. Just like that, you slaughtered every single scorpion in sight. You killed a total of 87 of them. Just 13 more and the quest is complete. Then, you'd finally get the Sword God bloodline. Along the way, you cut down every single monster you crossed paths with. Soon enough, you slayed 12 more monsters, including a wolf demon bordering on the 8-star Blood Chi realm. Which meant you were now only exactly one monster away from hitting the 100 mark. And right at that exact moment, a deafening roar violently shook the air, followed closely by the heavy sounds of a desperate fight. You paused for a second before your face lit up with absolute thrill. Speak of the devil, without a single second of hesitation. You sprinted straight toward the noise. Soon, you spotted a massive black gorilla. Locked in a brutal fight with a girl. Her cultivation was only at the 4-star blood chi realm, while this black gorilla was a terrifying 9-star blood chi beast. It was an absolute slaughter. And sure enough, the girl was violently sent flying by a single punch, instantly coughing up a mouthful of blood. The gorilla wildly pounded its chest and lunged straight for her. Seeing this, sheer panic flashed through the girl's eyes. Am I really going to die here today? I just finished my martial exams. And just wanted to come out here to temper myself. I never expected to run into a 9-star blood chi monster. But just as the gorilla's massive fist was about to smash down, a streak of sword light suddenly shot through the air. The gorilla reacted insanely fast, and somehow managed to dodge it by a hair. However, a towering, barrel-thick ancient tree right next to it was instantly sliced clean in half. The beast was violently forced back. In the very next second, you unleashed the carefree sword art, decisively beheading the giant gorilla with a single, flawless strike. Blood sprayed all over the ground, as the gorilla's massive corpse crashed heavily into the dirt. You immediately stored it away. A 9-star blood chi monster's corpse could still fetch a pretty damn good price. Ding! Detected that the host has slain 100 monsters. Reward granted. Sword God Bloodline. In light of the host's exceptional performance, an extra reward is granted. 1 piece of innate sword bone. Does the host wish to integrate it now? Integrate. You chose immediately, without a single ounce of hesitation. The very next second, a surge of comforting warmth spread across your chest. And your damaged origin was completely, perfectly healed. But it didn't end there. A burst of spiritual light flashed brilliantly, as your blood chi frantically surged. You could actually feel your blood chi value rocketing wildly all the way up to 100. Breaking you straight into the 6-star blood chi realm. Meanwhile, not too far behind you, the girl from earlier was still completely frozen in shock. This terrifying 9-star blood chi beast that had hunted her the entire way was just casually slaughtered right in front of her. But the craziest part was the person who actually did it. I think it's only the 6th star of the chi blood realm that's a full 2 realms higher than my own. Thank you so much for saving my life, young master. May I know your name, so I can properly repay you when we return to Luo City? Su Chen simply replied, there's no need for thanks. As soon as the words left your mouth, you turned, ready to leave. But just as you were about to go, the sound of hurried footsteps came rushing in. Fanying, are you okay? Where is the beast that was chasing you? The man leading the group acted like you were completely invisible, charging straight over and shoving you aside. I'm fine, he saved me, Luo Fanying said, looking right at you. Her gaze stayed locked onto you, not shifting away for a single second. The man sharply picked up on this, raising his eyes to glare at you. He frowned slightly, then let out a scoffing laugh. Hey, I'm Mo Feng. Thanks for stepping in to save Luo Fanying, buddy. Fanying and I grew up together. If she had gotten even a little bit hurt, I'd be totally heartbroken, Mo Feng said, sizing you up. But looking at you, buddy, you're only at the 6th star of the Chi blood realm. I really wonder how someone like you managed to save Fanying. Mo Feng's words dripped with contempt and suspicion. It made you frown. It was painfully obvious that Mo Feng was doubting your strength. Mo Feng, what exactly do you mean by that? Before you could even open your mouth, Luo Fanying spoke up first, questioning him coldly. Su Chen saved my life. What are you trying to say? Are you doubting him? Hearing the anger in Luo Fanying's voice, Mo Feng just let out a soft chuckle. Fanying, I'm just worried about you, that's all. You have a very prominent status. It's inevitable that some people might try to get close to you on purpose. You shot Mo Feng a completely speechless look. You just thought there was something seriously wrong with this guy's head. If you're weak, just train harder. Stop constantly doubting everybody else, alright? After dropping that line, you turned to leave. You just felt incredibly unlucky. You'd already been grossed out by Lu Qing earlier today. And you didn't expect to get nauseated by this piece of work, too. Seriously, there's no shortage of freaks every year. But this year takes the cake. Halt, did I say you could leave? If you don't explain exactly what happened today, you're not going anywhere. Mo Feng actually blocked your path, instantly unleashing his 3rd-star Chi C realm cultivation. And trying to crush you with the pressure. Are you absolutely sure you want to stop me? Now you were pissed. You stepped in out of the goodness of your heart to save Luo Fanying. Only to get accused by this absolute dumbass. This was just freaking ridiculous. Hey, I'm blocking you, so what? I'm at the 3rd star of the Chi C realm. And you're nothing but a 6th-star Chi blood realm piece of trash. Do you seriously think you can beat me? Smack. The very next second, the crisp sound of a slap echoed through the air. But you weren't the one who threw it. It was Luo Fanying. Mo Feng, what is wrong with you? What do you mean, a 6th-star Chi blood realm piece of trash? I'm only at the 4th star of the Chi blood realm. So according to your logic, does that mean I'm even worse than trash? Luo Fanying snapped furiously. She was visibly furious. The guy had literally saved her life out of kindness. only to be baselessly accused by Mo Feng. If word of this got out, how could she ever show her face again? No, I wasn't talking about you. Fanying, I meant that he is trash. I really didn't mean to insult you. Mo Feng scrambled to explain himself, but Luo Fanying was completely done listening to him. Pushing Mo Feng aside without hesitation, she stepped right up, grabbed your hand, and pulled you along to leave. Seeing this, Mo Feng ground his teeth in absolute fury. He had always had feelings for Luo Fanying, but Luo Fanying had never given him the time of day. And now she was actually holding her hand, right in front of his face. It was an absolute gut punch. The sheer humiliation of it. In a flash, a pitch-black long blade materialized in Mo Feng's hand, pointed dead straight at you. As the personal disciple of the master of the martial arts hall, when had he ever been so utterly disrespected in Luo City? Even the elders of noble families and powerful factions had to treat him with the utmost courtesy. Not to mention, he was a 3-star Qi Si realm cultivator. Reaching the 3-star Qi Si realm at his age, he could definitely be considered a genius. Hey, so what if you're the disciple of the martial arts hall master? With those words, you raised your hand and unleashed a furious sword strike. Surging sword energy swept out in all directions, carrying an absolutely unrivaled sword intent. Feeling the sheer brilliance of your swordsmanship, Mo Feng felt a wave of terror wash over him. Suppressed by the heavy pressure, he stumbled backward again and again. He was forced to constantly block and dodge, completely unable to launch a counterattack. Damn it, just who the hell are you? In all of Luo City, there had never been a master swordsman like you. Mo Feng's face turned a deathly pale. He was completely overwhelmed. Chen, Luo City Vocational School. When you dropped your name in school, it wasn't just Mo Feng. Even Luo Fanying froze for a second. They both assumed you were from some top-tier university. They absolutely never expected that you came from one of the lowest-ranked academies in all of China. How have I never heard of you? Since when did Luo City Vocational School produce someone like you? Maybe because I haven't officially enrolled yet. I just finished the martial arts exam. You let out a light chuckle. In your grip, the Dragon Abyss sword let out a sharp, ringing hum. And faintly, the distant roar of a dragon echoed from the blade. A 3-star Qi Si realm. And this is all the strength you have? Honestly, I'm pretty disappointed. You had wanted to test the gap between yourself and the Qi Si realm, but you never imagined Mo Feng would be this incredibly weak. Talk about arrogance. Mo Feng's expression was incredibly stiff. If you were in the same graduating class, your current 6-star Qi and Blood Realm cultivation wouldn't be anything special. But a high school senior who just took the martial arts exam at the 6-star Qi and Blood Realm, that was an absolutely terrifying existence. You have to understand, up until now, the highest record in all of Luo City was only the 5-star Qi and Blood Realm. And you had completely shattered that record. But why on earth would a genius like you join Luo City Vocational School? With talent like that, you could easily get into an Earth-tier academy. Mo Feng and Luo Fanying's faces were filled with absolute shock. The more they thought about it, the more absurd it felt. But you couldn't care less. You instantly launched the carefree sword technique. Your strikes were vicious, cunning, and totally unpredictable. Mo Feng couldn't even track where your blade was coming from. Slash. A blinding flash of sword light swept past. And Mo Feng crashed to the ground. The agonizing pain had him screaming and rolling in the dirt. If he hadn't reacted at the absolute last second, that single strike would have killed him on the spot. Luo Fanying's eyes were wide as saucers, her face a mask of pure disbelief. A Qi and Blood Realm cultivator actually defeated someone in the Qi Si realm? If word of this fight got out, it would be more than enough to make you famous throughout all of Luo City, maybe even the whole country of China. But what they didn't know was your name had already sent shockwaves through all of Luo City. If you suck, practice more. You threw your hands up and scoffed at Mo Feng. Time to head back to the city. Today's haul hadn't been too bad at all. You glanced up at the fading sky. The sun had completely ducked behind the mountains. If you didn't leave now, it would be pitch black. Without another word, you completely ignored Luo Fanying and just turned to walk away. Luo Fanying paused for a second then actually ran right after you. Mo Feng was hauled up from the ground, glaring viciously in the direction you left. Luocheng Tech, huh? I don't give a damn who you are. You messed with the wrong guy. Let's go, back to the martial arts hall first. Master dotes on Fanying the most. If he finds out that some little punk is cozying up to her with bad intentions, hey. And soon enough, you arrived at the martial arts hall. This was the biggest hub for martial artists in all of Luocheng. Not only could you buy anything you could ever want here, but you could also sell off any loot you've gathered. After slaughtering so many monsters, you packed up their corpses, just to come here and score a good price. Even though, you still had a villa left to you by your parents, along with a cool 40 million in cash. That kind of money was barely a drop in the bucket when it came to martial arts cultivation. Even the most basic low-level pills or elixirs started at several $100,000. Anything slightly better cost millions, or even tens of millions. And the later stages of cultivation? That burned through money like crazy. As for your parents, they died 4 years ago during the alien invasion. losing their lives on the extraterrestrial battlefield. Up on the second floor, which was the main trading hub for monster corpses, Luo Fanying stuck right by your side. Seeming to guess your intentions, she started eagerly showing you around. Looking to offload some monster corpses, young man? A shop worker immediately came over to greet you. Meanwhile, outside, Mo Feng and his two flunkies finally arrived back at the martial arts hall. Mo Feng's chest had been hastily bandaged to stop the bleeding. Watching you and Luo Fanying walk into a shop, Mo Feng sneered, "Tell the owner of that shop to lowball him hard. Stall them, I'm going to get our master." With that, Mo Feng limped away, leaning heavily on one of his lackeys. Back inside, when you dumped a massive pile of venomous scorpion corpses onto the floor, the clerk was absolutely stunned. He stared at you in shock. Sure, these venomous scorpions weren't exactly high-level monsters, but they traveled in swarms, and their bodies were packed with highly lethal venom. Even Shi Realm fighters hell, even Grandmasters couldn't neutralize that kind of poison if it got into their system. Yet here you were, casually dropping a whole mountain of them, and by the looks of it, a fresh kill, too. After a quick appraisal from the clerk, there were exactly 99 venomous scorpion corpses. Rough estimate put the total at over 40 million, which meant in just one day out in the field, you'd made more than the entire inheritance your parents left behind. You felt a surge of excitement. You didn't hesitate, immediately pulling out the corpse of the 9-star Chi and Blood Realm gorilla. Seeing this, the clerk's jaw practically hit the floor. He could sense you were only at the 6-star Chi and Blood Realm. How the hell did you manage to kill so many monsters? Did you just scavenge them from someone else's hunt? Whatever, it didn't matter. Please give me just a moment, sir. The total value of these items is quite high. I need to report this to my boss and have him set the final price. Forget it, no appraisal needed. The clerk's voice had barely faded, and a deep, gruff voice cut in. Looking up, you saw a heavy-set, pot-bellied middle-aged man, striding over with a pipe clenched in his teeth, puffing out smoke. No need to price any of this. Just leave it all right here. You can leave now. Boss, what do you mean? The clerk asked, totally confused. The boss just shot him a nasty glare. Are you a complete idiot? Are you completely brain dead? They're way too young. Their cultivation is only at the 6-star Blood Chi realm. How could they possibly kill this many venomous monster scorpions? Even a martial artist in the Chi realm would struggle to pull this off, let alone taking down a 9-star Blood Chi beast. So, there's only one logical explanation. Those two stole someone else's kills. You're honestly speechless. How did this suddenly turn into you stealing someone else's loot? But seeing a guy in black sneaking around outside, isn't it the same lackey who was following Mo Feng? It hits you instantly. You turn to the shop owner and demand, "Do you have any proof to back that up?" "Hey, proof? What proof do I need? If you don't get the hell out of here right now, I'm calling the enforcers. Besides, what proof do you have to show that you actually killed these beasts?" The owner sneers, completely sure he's got you cornered. Hearing his cold laugh, you decide you're done wasting your breath. You move to pack up the beast carcasses, but the owner forcefully blocks your way. "Leave that stuff right there. I'll contact the rightful owner to come pick them up." "So, what you're saying is, you know exactly who this owner is? Why don't you call them over so we can have a little chat?" "That's none of your damn business. Now beat it." The owner tries to shove you and Luo Fanying out the door. Luo Fanying immediately flares up in anger. "Who the hell do you think you are, trying to kick me out? And you're trying to pocket the beasts my friend killed? Believe me, I will. Believe my ass. You're a nobody. Pack your crap and get out of my sight before things get ugly." Luo Fanying is absolutely furious now. "My father is the hallmaster of the martial arts hall. I dare you to say that to my face again." "Oh, you're Hallmaster Luo's daughter?" "Yeah right, and I'm his friggin' daddy. Get the hell out of here, right now." The owner roars. He immediately summons the martial arts hall guards, fully intending to have you and Luo Fanying thrown out on the street. He was acting on Mo Feng's orders. If this girl standing in front of him really was Hallmaster Luo's daughter, wouldn't Mo Feng, the Hallmaster's own disciple, know about it? But as the dozens of guards close in, you just let out a cold laugh. Then, calm as could be, you pull out a token. It's the exact token Su Tianhe gave you himself, the one representing the absolute authority of an elder in the martial arts hall. But the moment the owner sees it, the bastard actually snatches it right out of your hand. He violently smashes it onto the floor. "Son of a bitch, you even dare to impersonate a martial arts hall elder? Now, we're way past just kicking you out. One of you fakes being Hallmaster Luo's daughter, and the other fakes being a damn elder. If I don't drag your asses straight to Hallmaster Luo, I might as well close up shop for good. Get them, grab these suicidal little punks, and haul them to Hallmaster Luo to await their punishment." The moment the owner finishes shouting, the enforcers completely surround you. Seeing this unfold, Mo Feng's lackey outside suddenly turns pale. Mo Feng had only told the owner to mess with you. He never said anything about dragging Luo Fanying into this. Luo Fanying is the Hallmaster's actual daughter, and knowing how fiercely overprotective the Hallmaster is of her, if he finds out someone laid a hand on his precious girl, he's going to literally murder him. But in a complete panic, he has no idea what to do, so he scrambles off to warn Mo Feng. Meanwhile, the enforcers, all-powerful Qi realm cultivators, close the net around you. Without a second of hesitation, they launch their attack. Your icy gaze sweeps over them, and you instantly draw your Dragon Abyss sword. In a flash, countless waves of sword aura violently erupt, a radiant blade flashing as it clashes head-on with their fierce, overwhelming energy. The sounds of fighting drew the eyes of countless onlookers. It had been so many years. Yet this was the very first time anyone had actually dared to cause trouble in the martial arts hall. Talk about a fearless kid who doesn't know any better. The headquarters of the martial arts hall is backed by a true venerable. Even a martial king has to follow the rules when they step in here. Kids these days are just way too bold. Is that Su Chen? Walking by not too far away, Lang Mengqiu and Lu Qingxian stopped dead in their tracks when they saw the scene. They never would have guessed that the person causing chaos in the martial arts hall would actually be you. That kid with a damaged origin who joined the Luo City Tech School. Lang Mengqiu looked absolutely shocked. Feeling out your cultivation, she realized you had somehow reached the 6th star of the Blood Qi realm. But wasn't his origin damaged? I thought he couldn't cultivate at all? Just today at the Martial Arts Plaza, he was only at the 5th star of the Blood Qi realm. But that wasn't even the craziest part. The real kicker was that you were currently fighting the enforcers. The enforcers were all at the Qi realm, and their leader was even at the 5th star of the Qi realm. Yet, against a lineup like this, they couldn't even take down a guy at the 6th star of the Blood Qi realm. Lang Mengqiu's face was full of utter disbelief. She was completely stunned. Anyone who could fight above their own level was undeniably a rare genius, someone you could easily call a prodigy. But what you were doing right now, holy crap, this wasn't just fighting above your level. You were fighting above your level against multiple opponents at the exact same time. And you weren't even losing ground. Lu Qingxian had obviously noticed you too, her expression turning ice cold. But hiding in endless, toxic resentment. After the way you humiliated her today, how could she possibly swallow her anger? Yeah, she was the one who initiated the breakup. But could anyone really blame her? She just wanted to live a better life. Was that so wrong? Besides, she had already apologized to you. Yet you just had to be so ungrateful, refusing to forgive her at all. You were just an absolute, insufferable idiot. Daring to throw hands in the martial arts hall. Does he really think Hall Master Luo has his back? Lu Qingxian scoffed coldly, secretly gloating over your incoming misfortune. She was dying to see you get beaten to a pulp right there in the hall. Carefree sword art, first form. You roared in your mind. A blinding flash of sword light suddenly shot out. In the very next second, a massive surge of sword aura blasted the surrounding enforcers right back, sending them crashing to the ground, coughing up blood. Defeating 6 Qi realm martial artists with a single strike. If they hadn't seen this insane feat with their own 2 eyes, who would have ever believed it? Luo Fan was just about to notify his father, but the fight was already over. Spit it out. Who told you to come after me? You completely ignored the groaning enforcers, turning around to glare straight at the shop boss instead. Seeing this, the boss was terrified, stumbling backward until he hit the wall, his face completely drained of color. You're screwed, you are in so much trouble. He stammered. You dared to attack the hall's enforcers. You're freaking dead. Smack. You slapped him hard right across the face. The boss froze. He barely opened his mouth to speak before you unleashed a brutal flurry of slaps, one after another, beating his face to a bloody pulp until he collapsed onto the floor. I will ask you one more time. Who put you up to this? You're so screwed, the boss groaned. Sick of his bullshit, you raised your hand and drove the long Yuan sword straight down, piercing right through the boss's shoulder. You pinned him firmly to the floor. If you won't talk, then you can just go to hell, you said, your voice dripping with ice. You were about to execute the shopkeeper, and the man was already terrified out of his mind. He frantically blurted out, it was Mo Feng. He's shopkeeper Luo's disciple. I didn't dare disobey him. Hearing this, you finally pulled back your Dragon Abyss sword. You let out a cold scoff. Just as I thought. It's that bastard. Are you his loyal dog? You just do whatever the hell he tells you to do? Luo Fanying stormed over, fuming with anger, and unleashed a flurry of punches and kicks on the shopkeeper, venting her rage without holding back. You couldn't help but take a second look at her. That was when you remembered what she said earlier. She was Luo Tianhe's daughter. This actually caught you a bit off guard. Stop right there. A heavy, booming voice suddenly echoed through the hall. An overwhelming force instantly enveloped Luo Fanying, pinning her down completely so she couldn't even twitch. A man dressed in martial arts robes slowly strode over, glaring at you both with ice-cold eyes. You dare cause trouble in the martial arts hall? I don't care where you're from, or what kind of backing you have. Here, you will follow the rules of the martial arts hall. The man's terrifying aura of a grandmaster erupted, bearing down on you like a crushing weight. Elder Luo came out himself. The moment he made his appearance, every single person in the martial arts hall turned their eyes toward him, gazing at one of the absolute strongest fighters in Luo City. Hey, you two little brats. It looks like even if the gods came down today, They wouldn't be able to save you. As his words dropped, a heaven-shaking pressure rolled out to crush you. He intended to completely suppress both you and Luo Fanying. After all, he possessed the cultivation of a true grandmaster. Meanwhile, you and Luo Fanying were merely in the vitality realm. Under the crushing weight of his aura, it was getting incredibly hard to hold your ground. Screw you and your bullshit. You let out a furious, deafening roar. The immense power of your vitality erupted from your body. With a single, explosive slash of your sword, you actually tore right through the man's oppressive aura. Your figure instantly blurred into an afterimage as you charged straight at him, ready for the kill. How the hell is this possible? Witnessing this scene, the man's face twisted in sheer horror. But before he could even react, your sword was already thrusting right at him, forcing him to stumble backward in panic. He threw up both arms, channeling his energy to block the strike. But the sheer force of this blade actually sent him reeling several steps back. At that exact moment, your mind inexplicably entered a profound, ethereal state of absolute clarity. The sword energy around you began radiating completely out of control, before suddenly snapping together and condensing. It swirled around your body like a roaring tempest. That's sword aura. Seeing this unbelievable sight, Lang Mengchu cried out in absolute shock. Her face was filled with extreme awe. You have to understand, sword aura was the second highest realm for any sword cultivator. Represented a massive, monumental achievement in the mastery of the blade. Just moments ago, you were only at the entry-level stage of basic sword energy. Nobody could have imagined that in such an incredibly short amount of time. You had actually grasped the true meaning of sword aura. Up until this very moment, the youngest person in all of China to ever awaken their sword aura held the record at 20 years old. That was none other than the current Sword King, Lu Qingxian. But you were only 18. And yet, you managed to manifest sword aura directly. You were a full 2 years younger than the Sword King. In a flash, the entire martial arts hall fell into a dead, absolute silence. The only sound left in the room was the sharp, piercing hum of your sword aura. Bang! With a deafening boom, the man was violently blasted through the air. He crashed violently right back into the shop from earlier, smashing everything inside to absolute pieces. Right at that very moment, Luo Tianhe also came rushing over in a blind panic. Seeing his arrival, the shopkeeper burst into tears, crying and sniveling like a complete mess. He scrambled up, throwing his arms around Luo Tianhe's leg. "They're wrecking my shop, selling stolen goods, and they even beat me up. You've got to give me justice, sir." Catching sight of Mo Feng standing right behind him, the owner started wailing even louder. But of course, he didn't dare admit that Mo Feng was the one pulling the strings. Everyone knew Luo Tianhe was a man of absolute honor. If he found out about this little scheme, even Mo Feng would be punished, let alone a nobody shopkeeper like him. "Kid, I gotta hand it to you. At your age, to actually comprehend sword aura, I'm genuinely impressed." The man stood up, brushing himself off without any serious injuries. His eyes were burning with respect as he looked at you. "But rules are rules. I don't care who you are. Causing trouble in the martial arts hall means you're gonna face the consequences." But hearing this, you didn't even bat an eye. You just turned around and saw Luo Tianhe standing right behind you. His fiercely furrowed brows, the moment he got a clear look at you, instantly relaxed. "Brother Su, what are you doing here?" Luo Tianhe was visibly shocked when Mo Feng told him some street punk was hitting on his daughter. He had almost blown a gasket. He'd stormed straight down here ready to beat the living daylights out of the guy. He never expected that punk to be you. "Brother Luo, you weren't surprised at all," simply giving him a casual nod. Hearing this exchange, Mo Feng froze solid like a statue. Earlier, when you addressed Luo Tianhe like that, he thought you were just an arrogant fool who didn't know his place. But now, it was glaringly obvious. The real clown here was him. Luo Fanying blinked in surprise too. She didn't expect you to actually know her old man. And from the looks of it, you two were pretty tight. The shop owner was absolutely paralyzed with shock. His brain was practically short-circuiting. After all this drama, he was the only actual outsider here? "Dad, if you don't give me an explanation right now, I am never letting this go." Before Luo Tianhe could even ask what happened, Luo Fanying stormed right up to him, fuming. "Are you just gonna stand there and watch your precious daughter get bullied like this?" The moment those words left her mouth, the owner nearly dropped dead from sheer terror. She was actually Luo Tianhe's daughter. By the time Luo Tianhe got the full story from start to finish, his face darkened like a gathering storm. The shop owner was completely broken now. He could only cast a desperate, pleading look at Mo Feng. But Mo Feng was just as terrified, completely at a loss for words. "Give me an explanation." Luo Tianhe's voice was pure ice. The shop owner literally wet his pants on the spot. No, it's a misunderstanding." Bam! The owner was viciously kicked, flying across the room. Last chance. Luo Tianhe was absolutely furious now. It was young Master Mo Feng. "He made me do it." The owner didn't dare hide a single thing anymore. If he lied now, he was genuinely going to be beaten to a pulp. Mo Feng's face lost all its color. He scrambled forward, desperately trying to explain himself. Master, this might really just be a misunderstanding. You know smack. Before he could even finish his excuse, a brutal backhand cracked across his face. He crumpled straight to the floor. Luo Tianhe wasn't an idiot. One listen, and he knew exactly what had gone down. Is this how I raised you to act? Taking the full brunt of Luo Tianhe's wrath, Mo Feng didn't dare utter a single peep. He kept his head down, but his eyes were seething with venomous hatred toward you. Apologize to Brother Su. Now, Luo Tianhe barked the order, a terrifying, suffocating aura leaking from his body. It drained every last drop of color from Mo Feng's face. Mo Feng, I never thought you were this kind of scum. Su Chen literally saved my life. And instead of thanking him, you actually attacked him. And after you couldn't beat him, you stooped to using such dirty, underhanded tricks. I am so disappointed in you. Don't ever come looking for me again. I never want to see you. Luo Fanying was furious. Mo Feng frantically tried to explain himself. No, it's not like that, Fanying. Please, just listen to me. What is there left to explain? You act recklessly, without any regard for the consequences. You are a hypocrite, and so unbelievably petty. What else could you possibly have to say for yourself? Luo Fanying hurled a barrage of insults at Mo Feng, before delivering one final, soul-crushing blow. Just look at yourself. How could you even begin to compare to Su Chen? Mo Feng froze exactly where he stood. His entire body stiffened. He could brush off everything she said before. But that last sentence was an absolute critical hit. Hearing Luo Fanying's words made Luo Tianhe even more furious. He hadn't expected something so disgraceful to have happened. Apologize to this brother right now. Luo Tianhe roared. Losing is nothing to be afraid of. What's truly terrifying is being a sore loser. I, Luo Tianhe, have always been open and honorable. Yet I took in a disciple like you. You are an absolute disgrace. Master, there's a misunderstanding. It's not what you think, you bastard. Before Mo Feng could even finish, Luo Tianhe had heard more than enough. Fury boiled over in his chest, and he delivered a brutal kick that sent Mo Feng flying through the air. The onlookers were completely dumbfounded. What in the world was going on? Why did Luo Tianhe refuse to even listen? And just start ruthlessly beating Mo Feng? That was his own disciple. In an instant, every single pair of eyes turned toward you. Just what kind of background did you have to make Luo Tianhe respect you this much? Very quickly, Mo Feng was beaten black and blue. His face was swollen like a pig. Pack up your things right this second, and get the hell out. I, Luo Tianhe, do not have a disciple like you. He was truly, deeply disappointed in Mo Feng. Utterly disappointed. Master, no, please. I was wrong. I was really wrong. I'm begging you, please don't expel me from the sect. Ignoring the agonizing pain racking his body, Mo Feng crawled over to Luo Tianhe and begged for mercy. I'll apologize. It's all my fault. I'll apologize to Brother Su Chen right now. I'll do it right now. Mo Feng dragged himself over to you, desperately trying to grab the hem of your pants, but you stepped away, dodging him. Su Chen, I was wrong. I'm a miserable wretch. I'm absolute trash. Please, be the bigger person. And don't stoop to my level. Just forgive me, okay? I promise I'll stay far, far away from Fanying from now on. I won't fight you for her. I'll let you have Fanying, alright? Please, just forgive me. I can't be kicked out of the sect. If I'm expelled, I'll have absolutely nothing left. Mo Feng wailed and bawled pathetically, groveling right at your feet. You just frowned, glancing down at Mo Feng. First of all, I have no use for a dog like you. Secondly, I've only just met Luo Fanying today. This whole liking her or not nonsense of yours doesn't even apply. And besides, she isn't some piece of property to be traded back and forth. And finally, the way you're acting right now is truly making me sick. You kicked him aside, but Mo Feng paid it no mind. Luo Tianhe was utterly disappointed. If Mo Feng had even a shred of backbone, he might have actually softened and given him another chance. But he never expected. Was he afraid of being expelled from the sect? No. What he truly feared was that leaving the martial hall would mean losing everything he had. Luo Fanying was absolutely furious. She stormed over, grabbed Mo Feng by the collar, and slapped the living daylights out of him. I always knew your feelings for me weren't genuine, but I never imagined that I was just a stepping stone for you to stay in the martial hall. In your eyes, I'm nothing but a piece of property to be traded away. You absolute bastard. Thank God I wasn't blind enough to fall for you. Mo Feng tried to say something, but Luo Tianhe had already stood up, shooting him a cold, piercing glare. Get out. I will announce to the world that you are no longer my disciple. At those words, Mo Feng slumped to the ground. The light completely vanished from his eyes, as if he had aged a dozen years in an instant. At the very next second, Mo Feng violently flipped back up. Channeling every ounce of his strength, a dagger flashed in his hand as he lunged straight at you. It's all you. It's all your fault. You got me kicked out. Do you have any idea what that means for me? Seeing this, you quickly stepped back. You drew the Dragon Abyss sword, and a sharp burst of blade aura instantly shot out. It blocked Mo Feng's attack, and with a swift backhand, you smashed a furious punch right into him. It means you got kicked out of the sect. You let out a short chuckle. Before unleashing an endless barrage of blade aura, Mo Feng desperately tried to block it. But it was too late. The very next moment, the deadly aura swept right through him. A spray of crimson blossoms filled the air, and a massive amount of blood poured from Mo Feng's mouth. His eyes went completely glazed, and he collapsed heavily onto the floor. All signs of life faded from him. Try to kill me and you can't blame me for what happens. You didn't feel even a single ounce of guilt, casting a cold, hard look at Mo Feng's lifeless body. Instead, you only felt the blood vitality within you surge just a little bit higher. Luo Tianhe opened his mouth, but the words caught in his throat. He had meant to stop Mo Feng, but it was already too late. Brother Luo, you saw it yourself. He was the one trying to kill me. You said, shifting your gaze to Luo Tianhe. Luo Tianhe simply shook his head, waving a hand to have the body cleared away. Meanwhile, the shop owner off to the side was scared absolutely witless. How could he not see just how important you were to Luo Tianhe? He didn't even hesitate to kick Mo Feng out of the sect. And him? He was just a completely ordinary merchant. At the mere thought of it, the owner forgot all about the pain in his body and frantically scrambled over to you, begging for his life. Lord Su, I was wrong. I really know I was wrong. It was all that little bastard Mo Feng. He forced me to do it. I swear, I never wanted to cross you. Look, the whole misunderstanding is cleared up now. So could you please just let me go? I've got an elderly mother and young kids depending on me. You frowned, then said with a mocking sneer, but aren't I just a fake? What on earth are you doing? Hearing that, the owner nearly died of fright. He instantly started slapping his own face. I was wrong. I was blind and couldn't see who I was dealing with. I offended your lordship. I deserve to die. It's all my fault. Please, Lord Su, just give me a chance to make it right. As he pleaded, a sudden thought struck the owner. He scrambled up, practically wetting himself in terror, and snatched up the token he had thrown away. He offered it back with both hands, trembling. I deserve to die. I was blind. I didn't recognize your status, my lord. You took the token back, not even bothering to give a two-faced scumbag like him the time of day. You didn't even want to look at him. While you didn't say a word, Luo Fanying wasn't about to let this slide. She let out a cold laugh. Oh, so now you realize you're blind? You were acting pretty damn tough a minute ago. Calling me a fake? Didn't you also claim to be manager Luo's father? The shop owner was already drenched, cold sweat pouring down his back. Uttering such treasonous garbage meant Luo Tianhe would be completely justified in slapping him to death right then and there. I know I was wrong. It's my big, stupid mouth. I'm garbage. Please, my lady, I'm begging you, just spare my miserable life. Get out of my sight. The martial arts hall has no place for trash like you. Luo Fanying dropped her smile, suddenly giving off the fierce, untouchable aura of an ice-cold CEO. Thank you, my lady. Thank you, Lord Su. The owner, literally scared out of his wits, scrambled to his feet and ran for his life. Just moments later, your phone buzzed with a text. 100 million had been deposited into your account. It was obviously hush money from that shop owner. Doing business with martial artists is ridiculously profitable, isn't it? You couldn't help but remark. Regular people bust their asses their whole lives just to put food on the table, while martial artists casually rake in tens or even hundreds of millions. No wonder everyone's dying to become one. Well, of course they do, Luo Fanying replied. Martial artists might make a fortune, but they also face death on a daily basis. Every single year, the number of fighters killed by mutated beasts alone is absolutely staggering, and that's not even counting the abyss. Luo Fanying explained, being the daughter of the martial arts hallmaster, even though she hadn't faced it firsthand. She had heard plenty of stories from Luo Tianhe. You didn't argue with her, because she was absolutely right. When the abyss first descended, terrifying alien races poured out of it, possessing overwhelming power. Countless prodigies fell in battle back then. Humanity paid an unimaginable, bloody price, just to drive those invaders back into the depths. But the arrival of the abyss also supercharged the revival of spiritual energy. Normal animals mutated into savage beasts, storming out of the forests. They quickly overran several cities. Nowadays, the remaining safe zones for humanity are only half the size they used to be. In other words, humanity isn't just holding off the alien races in the abyss. We're constantly defending against the beasts right here on the surface. The situation is incredibly grim. Hey, if you're interested, I can hand this shop over to you. How you run it is completely up to you. I'll even waive the rent. All you need to do is hand over 5% of the annual profits. Luo Tianhe chimed in with a warm chuckle. And before you could even say no, someone was already sent to draw up the paperwork. You froze, completely caught off guard. You had literally just made a passing comment. Did Luo Tianhe completely misunderstand? You really didn't want to run a shop. No, brother Luo, I think you've really misunderstood me. I wasn't dropping a hint, and honestly, I have absolutely no idea how to run a business. Oh, that's not a problem at all. I'll send a professional over to manage it for you. You won't have to lift a finger, Luo Tianhe said, giving another easygoing smile. You stood there, totally dumbfounded. So wait, you literally didn't have to do a single thing? Just sit back and let the money roll in? Sure enough, moments later, the contract was already brought out. Luo Tianhe signed the document and handed it over to you. Just sign it, Su Chen. Consider it your reward for saving my life. Seeing your hesitation, Luo Fanying spoke up right away. You let out a soft chuckle at her words. Well, that's one hell of a valuable reward. With that said, you picked up the pen and signed your name. The nearby shop owners were practically dying of envy. That spot was a prime, golden location. The yearly rent alone was tens of millions, not to mention having to hand over 10% of the profits. But for you, the rent was completely waived, and you only had to give up 5% of the profits. But don't underestimate that 5%. For a store like that, 5% could easily mean several million, or even tens of millions. In the crowd of onlookers, the absolute shock on Lang Mengqiu's face still hadn't faded. After all, you had given him way too many surprises. A 6-star Qi and Blood Realm cultivator actually slaying a 3-star Qi Sea Realm expert. The one suffering the most was, naturally, Lu Qingxian. He originally thought your life was completely ruined, but who would have thought this was only the beginning for you? The sheer value of that shop alone. He couldn't even fathom the massive profits it would bring in, if only it had fallen into his hands. As for you, a satisfied smile appeared on your face after signing. You exchanged a few polite words with Luo Tianhe before getting ready to leave. Luo Fanying wanted to say something more, but seeing that you were already walking away, she swallowed her words back down. What's the matter, my precious daughter? Do you have a crush on him? Noticing her expression, Luo Tianhe couldn't help but tease her. Luo Fanying's face flushed red, and she shot him a glare. You dirty old man, who has a crush? I was just curious. With such insane talent, which university actually accepted him? Luo Tianhe gave his daughter a very meaningful look. He knew exactly what was going through his daughter's mind. If she wasn't interested in the boy, why would she be asking all this? Luocheng Vocational School. Luo Tianhe replied with a light chuckle. Luocheng Vocational School? Are you kidding me? Someone with his talent is going to a vocational school? Luo Fanying's voice pitched up, her face full of absolute disbelief. You'll just have to ask him about that yourself. Hey, Luo Tianhe chuckled playfully. He gave her another knowing look, leaving Luo Fanying utterly speechless. Meanwhile, you had already left the martial arts hall. Your origin injuries were fully healed. Next up, it was time to prepare for the Luocheng Vocational School entrance exam in a week. Even though it was just a vocational school, you still had to take it seriously. After all, this exam would determine the distribution of your cultivation resources at the school. Once you entered college, things wouldn't be the same as they were in high school. There would be no more unified guidance from teachers or fair distribution of resources. In college, your strength did all the talking. If your talent and power were top-notch, you'd enjoy the best and most abundant resources. If not, you'd be ruthlessly eliminated. It was just that brutally realistic. Plus, you still had your system quest. Enter the abyss beneath Luocheng Vocational School and slay 100 alien beasts. Completing the quest would reward you with a sword body upgrade. I am the man destined to become the sword god, after all. You couldn't help but smile at the thought. But right at that moment, you had barely taken a few steps before a voice called out, Su Chen. You stopped in your tracks and turned around to look. Lang Mengqiu and Lu Qingxian were already standing right behind you, their expressions looking somewhat strange. You were actually a bit curious about what Lang Mengqiu wanted with you. If it had just been Lu Qingxian, you wouldn't have wanted to stick around for even a single second. Lang Mengqiu paused for a moment, deciding to stop beating around the bush. She got straight to the point. With your level of talent, are you really willing to settle for Luocheng Vocational School? Ah, so she was here to poach you. I'll admit, I was incredibly surprised during your talent assessment today. But after finding out that your origin was damaged, I started to hesitate. The only way to repair a damaged origin is to get your hands on a Demon King tier herb. But you know just how impossibly rare those are. Even a place like Star River University would have to pay a massive price to obtain one. But now your talent has completely blown me away again. Comprehending sword aura at just 18, and fighting enemies way above your level. Your talent is nothing short of monstrous. You are absolutely worth the price we'd have to pay. So, Su Chen, come to Star River University. We will provide you with the absolute best cultivation resources. A place like Luocheng Vocational School can't even begin to compare. Listening to Lang Mengqiu, you just let out a soft chuckle. Instead of giving a direct answer, you asked her a question. I'm a little curious. If I had agreed to join Star River University today, and hadn't awakened my sword aura, showing only average talent, what would you guys have done? At those words, Lang Mengqiu froze for a second. If the value you displayed wasn't worth the price we had to pay, you would be dropped. Wow, how brutally realistic. You laughed at her response. Star River University is great. But I'm sorry, I choose Luocheng Vocational School. There was no deeper reason. If you went to Star River University, how would you enter the abyss? How would you slaughter the alien beasts? How would you temper your body? And as for cultivation resources, don't make me laugh. You were a guy with a system, after all. All you had to do to get stronger was kill. And it just so happened that there was an abyss right beneath Luocheng Vocational School. Diving in there and hunting down those alien monsters. Now wouldn't that be a total thrill? Hearing your rejection, Lang Mengchu was completely stunned. So I just wasted my breath? You didn't listen to a single word I said, did you? Can you at least give me a reason? Because she's at Star River University, and she disgusts me. Without a second thought, you pointed straight at Lu Qingxian. She looked bewildered at first. Then, her face flushed with fury. Su Chen, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Are you seriously being this petty? You're a grown man, Su Chen, not a little kid anymore. Don't you think you're being childish? Alright, to be totally honest. There's another reason I'm going to Luocheng Vocational School. It's to avenge my parents. You weren't lying about that. Because 4 years ago, your parents died in battle defending the abyss beneath Luocheng Vocational School. Anyway, if there's nothing else, I'm out of here. You didn't want to talk about it anymore, turning on your heel to leave. Lang Mengchu opened her mouth to say something, but held it back. He could tell you had no intention of going to Star River University. Seeing you walk away, Lang Mengchu also got ready to leave, but Lu Qingxian just stood frozen in place. Professor, please go on ahead. I still have something I need to take care of. Hearing this, Lang Mengchu didn't think much of it, and simply left by herself. But the very next second, Lu Qingxian actually followed right behind you. Hurrying to catch up. By this time, you were standing at the street corner, right across from your apartment complex. But suddenly, Lu Qingxian stepped right in front of you, blocking your path. Su Chen, are you really that heartless? Lu Qingxian wept pitifully, tears streaming down her delicate face. What the hell is wrong with you?